Welcome to This Week in Astro. It is the week ending the 10th of April, and I'm making this episode off the back of a very exciting week in the Astro community. Every day of the past week there was something thrilling, something new that came out, and it was just like the run up to Christmas, and it was fantastic, and I would like to share that with you. So this might be a wee bit of an extended episode. It might be run a wee bit longer than expected. As always, we start off this week with Astro, looking at the Astro repo, and you can follow along with the Astro project by going on to github.com/withastro, and here you can keep up to date with everything current and upcoming with the Astro project. For instance, keeping up to date with the documentations, any PRs that you want to make to the documentations. There's also the RFCs, which keeps you up to date with any of the requests for features. There is a lot to get through, so from head to toe, let's start off with Monday. Announced was Astro moving towards version 0.1. On Monday we were launched with beta 0.0. There is nothing breaking in terms of the migration between 0.26 and Astro version 1.0 beta. With this release candidate came the start of the coming stability and fixes that we've seen in Astro, but I would like to make a special shout out to the Solid community. Well, let me just say, this was released that was produced by Ryan, who is the lead author over at the Solid framework. He was tinkering and working with the Solid renderer, and he's managed to make it, to quote, 200 times faster in terms of its improvement with its hydration process and how it interacts with Astro. Take note, your Solid projects should be a lot faster working with Astro. Just other shout outs is the work that has been done predominantly by the community member Juan, who has really took to the code base like a duck to water and has done a lot of major improvements, helping out the core team and helping out and was partly the driving force behind the astro-add mechanism that's now into the CLI. So thank you very much for your hard work, Juan. And so we're now looking at release candidate 4, and here we're just looking at integrations being made to the updates made to the integrations API, fixes to the configurations. Moreover than that, if you do wish to launch the docs from your command line, you can do just by hitting Astro docs, and it should launch your system browser and pop up the Astro docs page onto your internet browser, so that way you could get there within a second. Version 5 came out. This is a lot of work done by Matthew and Tony, where they've stabilized again features with the build adapters and the build process, and especially bringing in advanced use cases for the likes of imports and relative imports. And that is the release logs. So this brings us up to the actual beta release. Now I'd like to share with you some of the things that you may have missed because there was a lot of things discussed this week. Monday was a discussion in the Discord community. We have a very active community. I must say it is filled with wonderful people, funny and very genuine and developers who have come here from different schools of thoughts, different backgrounds, but yet, you know, they all come around, and we have communities, we have support threads where you could come in and ask your support questions, and it normally gets responded to. We've got channels dedicated to certain aspects of Astro development. If you want to keep up to date and make PRs to the documentation team, you can do. Join the integrations translations team, you can do. Please do by all means pop into the server and take a wee look and feel comfortable. You're more than welcome, and we do enjoy everyone's participation in here, right? The core team are very active as well within the Astro server, and this is where a lot of the meetings and events do take place. So within the live stage and the live chats, this is where we normally hang out, you know, weekly almost. But nonetheless, this is a wee screenshot that I took of basically what was a full house for the beta launch party. So the big announcement that was pretty much made on Monday was that Astro is officially looking to release this version 1 for June the 8th. I do recommend taking a look over the blog post. You can keep up to date with Astro and all its blogs. here on the astro.build site. Underneath the learn tag, here you'll get a bit of a background, just basically explaining the ethos and the history of what brought Astro to be. Moving forward, you could always check out all the new projects, keeping up to date with all the latest release candidates in the Astro playground using go to astro.new. Here you could play with all the latest starter kits, packages, your frameworks of choice as well, and any integrations that are currently preset with Astro. If you want, you could also then check out any future releases by going to astronew/next, and here you'll be able to see and play with all the canary changes. Now we're on to Tuesday, and Tuesday was a very big day in the Astro community. The introduction of Astro server-side rendering, it's huge. This is massive. This tweet alone gives you goosebumps. This announcement was carried out on Twitter, and it was done using the Twitter Spaces. So it was co-hosted by Matthew and Fred, and here they were basically talking about moving beyond the static site generation that was Astro up until Monday there. This is culminating the past 3 months of work that Matthew has put into it. There's been a number of them, so just generally speaking, thank you very much to those members who have took the time to help Matthew making SSR a reality for Astro. What Astro really did, what SSR brings to the fold, well, I will just let our resident in-house member from the core team, Ben, explain this.
Astro now supports SSR to render any of your content dynamically.
Thank you very much, Ben. Now, that was exciting. Server-side rendering, being able to dynamically generate pages based upon parameters and being able to respond in the server, because Astro is server-side. Information relating to the server-side rendering is now available on the Astro docs page, so you can find that right at the bottom here on the feature set, still under the experimental heading, because this won't come set until version 1, so it'll still be under the experimental banner. Whereas Astro was statically generated meant that all the pages were built literally at build time. We'll take those files, we'll stick them on our deployments provider, and those were, generated routes. We couldn't then make requests to the server for us to then fetch data from it. We couldn't implement sessions like logins, render data from, a dynamically fetched call to a backend, to a database. All these things were still that tiny bit out of reach for Astro. But under the SSR experimental banner, they're no longer. They're right there at the table for us to consume as we would freely. You could enable SSR quite easily within your project. To do so, you would need to use an adapter. This is all here. Here, again, we're just taking a quick look over the docs page. I highly recommend you taking a look over it yourselves. They've managed to create a process that is not seen in the community. There is not a SSR stack like this. So what we're looking at here is an actual Astro component file, written in this blog post provided by Matt, as an example to show how SSR integrates with your Astro project. So what we've done is converted the index page of your home page to be in a server-side rendered page. This here is a small video just to basically demonstrate how easy it is to add and deploy. And there you go. Once your site is built, you deploy it to your provider, and then it's up. You would also be able to find more information about developing adapters and the adapter API, again under the experimental banner, located underneath the reference tab on the Astro docs. And here you will find out more information about what an adapter is, how to build an adapter, and the particular APIs that go along with it. I just want to say a big special thank you to the work that Tony does to the Astro community. And this was it. So if you want to find out more about the Astro themes and the integrations, by all means do check out the blog post again. What I want to do is just take a bit of time now to go in and display some of the integrations and themes. First off is the themes page. Now you will find this on astro.build/themes. If you've got a theme for a blog, if you've got a theme for a portfolio page, landing page, marketing page, e-commerce, now that we've got SSR, by all means do submit them. Next up, on the Wednesday release, when we didn't just have themes, we had integrations as well that got released. And again, thank you very much, Tony, for taking the time and the energy to do this for us. Here, like you've seen, official Astro integrations sitting next side by side with integrations and components and packages made by other community members. For instance, this is the Astro SPA component. There is so many here. I mean, I was even amazed just looking through the list of it. I think there's about 50 actual integrations listed here. And next up, I would want to also make a shout out to this particular project integration itself. This is called Astro Command. Not many people know about this command, and this is one for those developers who are coming from other skill sets who utilize other disciplines. Like, for instance, last week we looked at Patrick Dung's blog post, where he was describing the transition and his migration from Pelican, which is a Python front-end framework, to Astro. And he was moving away from his Python files, whereas you can actually utilize your Python script files. It's like you can with Astro Command. And there's been a couple of really powerful components that have been made up off the back of this, right? And by all means, do check out Astro Command. It allows you to utilize pretty much any external file into your Astro project. It's really damn cool, especially the likes of Python. And here is another example that utilizes Astro Command. Builds off the top of it is Astro Pandoc. So you can actually use Pandoc to convert your content and embed that into your Astro project. Wow, there is so many in here. Please, by all means, do check it out. I just even get excited, salivating at the mouth even looking at this. Now, there is one thing that is going to really move the integrations forward, and that is the astro-add command. Again, this is a small wee demo, right, provided by Nate, and it is just a repeating loop of just using astro-add in the CLI to basically bring in solid and partytown, utilizing 4 keystrokes. Here we've added to our configuration file. Now we're bringing in, the last step there was bringing in the pure dependencies from npm, and it done that all for you. 4 short keystrokes, and you brought in your framework and any additional integrations that you wish. Boom. Now your project is ready to go. Thursday was Contributor Day. Contributors in an open source project are the unsung heroes in any open source project. And I've always felt and I've always said that a thank you is worth its weight in gold. A genuine thank you is worth its weight in gold. That's what Thursday was. It was a genuine thank you day to all the contributors within the Astro community over the past year. In their own way, with their own small PR, their issue, blog post, video, supporting the community in the Discord threads, talking about it with your friends. So let me go into a wee bit of depth on Thursday, okay? And I'd like to start off with a tweet from our very own editor-in-chief, producer of these weekly video logs that I do, and I must say, Sarah, thank you very much for all your time and effort that you spend on these. Listening to my voice must not be easy for anybody, but nonetheless, Sarah, thank you for encouraging me to do this. And I like to say that this tweet really summed it all up. Trust me when I say that. Every PR does make us, happy that we're receiving your effort and your help and time. We wanted to recognise that, and Chris, I like to make a shout out to this wonderful acknowledgement that is on the actual docs homepage, where we recognise those who have contributed to the docs page, the docs project itself. For all those who have contributed since the inception of the Astro project over the past year, I like to basically do a little scroll through and just showcase them, just to give them a bit of FaceTime and recognition for their efforts. This is Shal from Gitpod. There's small additions to help make Astro the way it is. Here's Ryan from Solid. And these are what you can when you can, and that's enough. There's TC, who is a brilliant member in the community, vibrant, very active. Chris Bonger's Bricey, Chris that we've just mentioned again, Okikio. There's so many. There's Chewy, there's Tony, there's Ivan, there's Sarah, there's Tommy, there's Boris, there's Laura, there's Kevin, there's Erica. There's so many I'm struggling to keep track of now. There's Hamad there. There's Evan. There's so many. There's Marcus, who's Lamoro over in the community. He takes care of the Astro Discord server itself. This is Rafid Moinem, and he's the maintainer of the Astro image tools and the Astro Spa package. Here is Ben. Not quite sure async banana's first name, but here's Juan, Tony, John Neal, Caleb, Matt, Drew, Nate, Fred, and yeah, I just want to finish on this graphic here, because even with the core members, it's like this graphic epitomizes the amount of work that was put in over the period of time to Astro. And as you can see, it's like even in the holiday period, the participation's great, and we're now, and I just want to say, is like, this is what Astro is to me. This is what Astro is, and this is what Contributor Day basically epitomised, in my opinion, in my eyes. And so we next move out to the nominations and the recipients of the community awards. This was the announcement that was provided by Tony on Thursday. Everyone who is not a member of the Astro Tech company is eligible for awards themselves. Bottom to the top, I like to say to ZV. ZV he's there with a pull request. He's great with the reviews. We greatly appreciate your work over the past 3 months, my friend. Sarah, Discord, she is, the mother goose of sorts. We have then Ernesto, especially providing content and helping to lead people through Astro in terms of their problems that they're experiencing. Moinimum, Rafid. There's not enough you can say about this kid. Next up we have Lostra. Very good contributions to helping those understand Astro, supporting them with their journeys in Astro. A very skilled and talented developer. We have next up is Juan. He has led the way in terms of, especially with his complete knowledge of the Astro code base as well, especially integrating the astro-add command into the CLI tool was fantastic. Next up we have Chris. Pretty much some of the galvanizing force along with Sarah, especially with the doc side of things, helping to lead by example as well there. So a big thank you to Chris. Lastly, we get to myself, quite in shock by it. I would like to just say thank you to everyone who did nominate me. If anything, it's just going to make me double down and do these even more and try and get better on the XElement project and help bring more components to life to help reciprocate the sheer thank you for that award. So yeah, genuinely thank you. I need a glass of water now. Next thing we get to was Astro's now with the help and support of the sponsors and the Patreons in the Open Collective. What they're basically doing is putting their money where the mouth is and directly supporting projects within the open source, helping to support other projects. It's not just us astronauts, but those who've helped make Astro what it is. Astro is going to be committing 25% of its Open Collective source fundings, to the first 4 projects mentioned here, and this is the Astro Open Collective page. The Open Collective is a medium that allows open source projects to basically receive sponsorship in a very transparent and open manner. Here it is here. We've got a list of contributors, and you can check this out on the open source collective, just from Astro themselves, just to say thank you to their major sponsors. Now we're coming on to Friday, and on Friday we got given the last installment to the week. Right now, this is again the last bit of work that Tony mainly put this, has been spearheading the showcases, the integrations, and the themes pages, just to showcase them on a wider field. Not only that they're built on Astro, but for others to enjoy their work as well. And this is what the showcase is really a gallery for other developers to enjoy other developers' work and learn and get new ideas and reach out, collaborate. This is all part of the showcase, and thank you, Tony, for putting this together. Right on here we've got, I think there's roughly about, oh god, I've lost count, I think there was about 30 odd pages here for you to showcase through. This ties us into the community showcase. I would like to basically begin the showcase by discussing the work. This was carried out by Manuel. He comes from StoryBlok, provide a full-blown integration between StoryBlok, their SDK, and if you're not quite familiar with what StoryBlok is pretty much a headless CMS tool that is shaking things up. It is utilised by a lot of big players, and this is a CMS tool that you can use in your own Astro project today. There is a brilliant walkthrough taking you step by step. This is the live demonstration. Thank you for the effort that you put into putting this particular blog post together, dude. It's brilliant. Once you build your Astro project, you got your StoryBlok set up, you could just hand that off to your clients and they've got their own they could build their own marketing pages. We also had a CloudCanon, another content management system, right, powered by Git. And again, a wee gift for you. Pretty damn slick, right? And yeah, by all means do check out CloudCanon and their support with Astro. And here we have an interview with between Mike and Fred. Fred has been doing his rounds this week. Literally, he has been everywhere, discussing Astro, answering all their questions, going through code. Like for instance, he was on a 3-hour live stream with Ryan over at Solid. Yeah, they went through the entire, the Astro SSR, created a Hacker News demo. It might be 3 hours long, but I highly recommend watching that video. Next up we have now this I believe is going to be added to the themes. Clean blog. It utilizes a lot of Astro icons in here. A lovely little pagination for your blog posts as well. Again, get up and going kind of thing. I'll provide categories into your posts, and even has a search facility as well provided by Fuzzy Search. No affiliation whatsoever. Next up we have this particular post. This is a brilliant article describing how to go about connecting to the Twitter API, connecting it to your Astro project, pulling the data through, and then utilizing it within your Astro component matter. Really guys, it's like once you built your get tweet API, that is it. You're just calling it within your server-side code and Astro will do all the rendering for you. The detail that Dave has really went into this is fantastic, so thank you very much, David. Next up, again, another article by Rodney. I mean, where does this man find the time, you might be asking? Here he talks about adding an RSS feed to your blog site. By all means, check out Rodney's guide on how to do that. He's even got a 15-minute video for you to watch it. Code for you to follow along with as well. Right? And again, thank you very much, Rodney, for the time that you took and the effort that you put into this. Next up, we're back at Ernesto's, and this here was a post that he put together in response to a community member asking a question of how to generate tags for their posts in their Astro project. Again, an example of going, in my opinion, the extra mile. Just a contributor within the Astro project to help address a question. He is read-onlychild in the Astro Discord. This post tags is pretty much this. So what you see here in terms of this Astro component file would render out to this. okay, where you have all your cool little thingamajigs, right? Anyways, and the last page I'd like to demonstrate is an announcement on behalf of Ernesto. Is basically his announcement that he's launched his GraphQL backend series. Next, I would like to showcase. This one here was by Lostra. We've already given him a shout out earlier. He needed to do an animated gallery, a building complex, and so he decided to do an XElement, and just to demonstrate what's going on. And you're probably thinking, yeah, fantastic, you could do this in anything, but this was made in XElement, so there was no UI framework brought into Astro to provide this. And if we were to just go into it, yes, there's a lot of images being preloaded, but I just want to basically show you that, the actual DOM tree. And as you can see, there is JavaScript happening. It is updating it. But nonetheless, if we were to look at just the performance alone of this normally ends after 5 seconds. 6 seconds. So what you're basically seeing here, right, is the first contentful paint happens within half a second, and the last contentful paint happens within 600 milliseconds, so just over half a second, and this entire site has become fully interactive. And there is JavaScript happening on this, there is interactivity happening on this. However, if you were to go to the actual network panel, you wouldn't see it. So what we're seeing here is a bunch of the images being preloaded. This is a Chrome extension. All the images followed by another Chrome extension and then the favicon with no JavaScript being downloaded. And that is one of the brilliant things about XElement. It's pure magic. And just to show you again, this is another component created by Sarah, our very own, who was working on a pet project, again made with XElement. It's a collapsible table demonstrating statistics for a particular sport. And again, just toggling values. You're probably thinking, what am I seeing here? But it's just collapsibles. It's all we're looking at is the interactions on the page. So these are all just on-click handlers executing callback functions utilizing XElement. And now this takes us on nicely to the last part of this week in Astro. And this is the big announcement that we have our very first Astro Hackathon. And there is real prize money to be given away. For more information, links will be put on the bottom of this video, and the categories, the requirements, what they're looking for, what will qualify, etc., and how you could get involved. Big thank you to our sponsors for backing this. Get in touch with the Astro Discord channel. This month, I want to see you all get busy, right? So knuckle down, cue the music, and all those awesome projects that you've chucked to the back burner, dust them off, bring them out, let's see them. And on that note, I wish you all the best for your coming week. Thank you very much. Peace and love, guys. Peace and love.